welcome back to another episode of God Built This Podcast. I'm your host, Maxine, and we're on episode 253. Hello. Let's talk about the lady on the plane. Okay, I know everyone has seen the video by now. It has gone viral. There is a woman on the plane who is walking off the plane, and as she is walking off, she is saying that person or that mother effer in the back right there is not real. And she also says, if you care about your life, you want to stay here, basically. And, basically you should pay attention to what I'm saying. She seemed very convincing, right? In a sense of she believed what she is saying. That's what I mean by that. I get the whole critique of her appearing not in her right mind, or her seeming to be on drugs or some type of substance, or even on alcohol that could have just deter her way of rightful judgment, probably. But I do want us to be challenged here and just wonder, what if she's not lying or having a psychotic break or some type of high moment? So it says here, quote, "You can die with them or not," is what she says. Passenger melts down on American Airlines flight to Orlando. So an American Airlines flight from Dallas Fort Worth to Orlando was delayed for hours Sunday evening after a passenger had a mysterious meltdown caught on video. In widely shared cell phone footage, a woman dressed in a crop top and jeans stands at the front of the plane, frantically yelling at her fellow passengers as if to warn them. And, I don't know if you guys noticed, while she was yelling in the video, she was she used her index and middle finger. She had them stick together, standing up straight on both hands as she is saying what she's saying, and is actually very consistent with how the flight attendants, they give their announcements, or when they're telling you about just the procedures, if anything should go awry, here's what you do. So it was just kind of funny. Like, I wonder if she was a flight attendant at one point. But anyway, so she says here, quote, "I'm getting the F off," she screams, "and there's a reason why. And everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it." She also says, so she points to the back of the aircraft and shrieks with more expletives. "The person back there is not real." As heads pivot, she keeps, and it's like crazy, right? As heads pivot, she keeps yelling. Her voice is cracking. "You could sit on this plane and you could die with them or not. I'm not going to." So my thing is, I have a couple of questions, right? And I'm going to actually insert the video here in case you guys want to hear the audio. So here we go.
Can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two but I am telling you right now, that back there is not real.
So, okay, so she's saying all of that, right? And my question is, what happened before that moment for her to walk up and out of the airplane? Was there an interaction she had with this supposed unreal person? Was there some type of moment that she noticed, or some type of gesture that she noticed from this person that made her feel this way? Did this person give her a Joker smile and then vanished and then came back again and no one else said anything and she's the only one seeing it? I like to believe her. I would like to believe her, because I just feel like, why do all of that if it's not real? And yeah, maybe she was high off of acid, or, you know, took some DMT, and of course she's seeing elves. But that's typically when you do those type of drugs, you're not on a plane, right? Like typically when people get on planes, especially if they're super anxious about flying, they'll either take a Xanax, drink some alcohol, and that's about it. I've never heard of people taking meth or heroin or crack cocaine or DMT or fentanyl before they get on a flight because they're so nervous about the flying process. Like that's typically not the case. So my point is, like, say if she had one or two drinks, taking alcohol, consuming alcohol does not lead you to make such a claim. It does not lead you to say that person on the plane is not real. Like, I've never heard an alcoholic or someone who consumes alcohol too much have such a breakdown like that, you know? I don't know, maybe I'm kind of crazy for even caring to believe her, but I do think there are people in this world who aren't who they present themselves to be. I do think there are shapeshifters. I do think there are people lizard people, Hillary Clinton. I mean, like, the list goes on. I really do believe there are people who are not who they're presenting as. And this world is just very freaky. It's a freaky world. It's a bizarro world. So, of course, it's easy to dismiss something like this, because to actually embrace the idea of living in a world in which there are people who present as human beings like me and you, yet they're really not. They take off their mask and they're really lizard people, or they look like something else, whatever that looks like. It's a hard pill to swallow. There's a gamer vocabulary that I've heard recently when this topic was discussed. What is it called? Non-playing. Yeah, an NPC. Okay. Non-playing character. So I'm not much of a gamer. As far as games go that I've been like really into growing up was The Sims. And, you know, of course I play like Mario Kart and Super Mario Brothers and stuff like that. But The Sims, that was my game. I will play 5 hours. Like, I would clock in a whole shift, a whole 8 hours playing The Sims, as much as I did when I was younger. And of course, when you get older, you kind of lose sight of, or just kind of lose time, lose track of, or lose priority of playing those games. But I definitely had a good time playing The Sims. Anyway, with a non-player character, so for those who aren't gamers and who may not be familiar with this term, if you just type it in, it just basically means any character in a game that is not controlled by a player. So I'm hearing people use this term a lot when it comes to, when it comes to like a situation like this, you know, a situation in which someone claims this human being is not a human being. So I do wonder about just maybe the validity in that. Let me see if I could find some type of conspiracy with that. I just find it. Okay. So I guess an NPC will be considered someone who is a robot, right? Someone who's not a human being. So the theory of non-playing characters, NPCs, surrounding us sounds rather like a story from a sci-fi film. It will only make sense if you consider that ideas regarding us living in a simulation and conspiracy theories regarding glitches in a matrix to be true. I'm just reading a blog from mindmastery.com. It's kind of lengthy. I kind of want to get to some points, but there's been so many movies of people who play a role, right? Like people who are, this is a movie that's in my head right now, but I can't remember the name of it. Of course, it's like a white person cast, and there was, like, everyone was following suit. Everyone was robots. Everyone was following suit to what it was, a dystopian society. And there is a character in the movie who had to walk in the same order as everyone else just to preserve his life. And he had to kind of play it off like he had to like not make much eye contact with people, because if you make too much eye contact, it'll give the impression that you aren't an NPC and that you are an actual human being. And so he actually was one of a few people who were pretending that they were NPCs to preserve their life. And so he was able to kind of connect with people who were just like him, and they built this trust around each other, and they did their best to survive in this dystopia. What movie was, I don't even know who's in it. It's literally, that scene is playing in my mind. There's a scene of them walking, everyone's like bum rushing, and he is a human being and he's trying to go the other way and not make eye contact with much people, but there are some NPCs that notice him to not be one of them. So interesting. I'm gonna find it somehow. But anyway, I think these things are true. And we live in such a bizarre world. We live in such a strange world. Holly weird. Jamie Foxx just made an appearance on a yacht. Jamie Foxx. And at this point, I don't know if I should be mad at him, mad at his daughter, I don't know, because I'm mad at Katie Holmes. I know they're not together anymore, but I'm mad at somebody in his camp, because what in the world? Because my thing is, even if he's not a clone or he didn't get a doppelganger and he really did survive, whatever took him out and had him hospitalized and had us concerned and terrified for his life, because he is a lovable figure in Hollywood. I love Jamie Foxx. So say if all of that was true and it was a genuine report of things, and for him to not make a statement, a video, an appearance of some sort to tell his fans, yes, we deserve to know. I get when people say, oh well, what about their... Fuck you and your privacy, okay? Sorry, you signed up for being a celebrity. You signed up to be a public figure, okay? We watched you along the years. The least you could do is not leave us hanging and let us know what's going on. And you don't have to be too detailed, but you could at least give us a video message. Something could be going on. So my thing is, like, at the very least, you could at least say something to us directly, rather than paparazzi just happens to mysteriously catch you on a fucking yacht. Where was he, in Miami or something? Let me read this. I was just like, really? So that's what makes me feel like it's even more suspicious, because it's like, okay, why can't you just speak to us directly? What's going on? So according to TMZ, Jamie Foxx waves to fans on boat, looking healthy in first public sighting. And this is a distant video footage. So, I mean, if someone were to pause and zoom in, they could do some more assessments. But this video is purposely distant, right? And it, of course, is now shown in vlogs, and everyone has access to it. And maybe this is a way for his camp to let us know that he's good, he's doing great. Oh my gosh, he's on a boat, he's chilling, he's in the waters, and yet he still hasn't spoken to us. He still has not spoken to us. So it says here, Jamie Foxx took to Twitter, and this happened, what was it, July? Oh, today. So today, well, at the time of this recording, Jamie Foxx took to Twitter for the first time since his hospitalization and said, "Boat life, celebrating summer with Brown Sugar BBN." I don't know who Brown Sugar is. Maybe that's the tag of his daughter's Instagram name. I don't know. And we just got new video, a closer angle of Jamie on board the boat, but still interacting with fans. And I'm just going to play this video as I'm talking about it. The video is still a far footage. So someone, of course, a paparazzi, is filming him and has zoomed in the video. Jamie is standing on the boat, just looking, and he crosses his arms, and there's a video of him standing on the boat as well, and he's like waving to the fans. He has his sunglasses on, and that's it. He's kind of smiling, just presenting this image that he's good, he's all right, he's recovered. And I call bluff. Jamie Foxx's road to recovery seems to be going very well because the guy's out and about in public now, with TMZ getting the first glimpse of him since his hospitalization. So apparently he was on a mega boat cruising along on the Chicago River Sunday afternoon, looking pretty vibrant and happy to see fans as well. I don't know, child. Something's up. Something is up. I don't quite buy it. Hollywood is weird indeed. I talked about on a previous episode an ongoing trial that included many celebrities, including Jamie Foxx, Leonardo DiCaprio, President Barack Obama, and the case was about treason and money laundering. Let's see if I can find it. Money laundering, something like that. Case. Let's see. A scam. Okay, so let me go ahead and read. And it also involves Cameron Diaz. I think I talked about this with Freckles Bay too. Okay, so let's talk about it. So this is an article that I'm gonna reference real quick. Hopefully it gives us information. So this was published a couple of months ago in March. The headline is 55K scam targeting Jamie Foxx puts Cameron Diaz's Hollywood comeback on hold. Wait, I think it's something different. Maybe. Okay, Cameron Diaz's troubled comeback film is reportedly on hold after a plot to steal over 55K from her co-star Jamie Foxx in a complex scam came to light. Okay, I think I kind of heard of this, but that's not what I was referencing before. I talked about this on a previous episode in which Leonardo DiCaprio in particular, that was the one who I really focused on when I talked about it previously. He had to testify, and in his testimony, he had to testify against Obama. And Proz is also included. Yeah, it was about a money. Okay, so I was right. Yes. Okay, I just forgot. Okay, so this article that I'm gonna reference again, that I said previously, is from April of this year, and the headline is Leonardo DiCaprio testifies in money laundering case on rapper, Obama fundraising, and fugitive Malaysian financier J-Ho Low. Somehow, Jamie Foxx is caught up in this scandal. And the conspiracy is that Jamie Foxx would have been under fire had this case continued to involve him. So, allegedly, he claimed hospitalization issues and wanting, this stroke, not wanting a stroke, but having this stroke been put on his back. And I think that was all about, I forgot my train of thought. But okay, so medical complications. No. Child. Even, yeah, people are not, oh my gosh, this is freaky. There is not much information on it. I just typed in Jamie Foxx testimony, whether or not these are the correct words to use, but still, you can find something that's like related. And I cannot find a headline, an article that supports that. There's a couple of TikToks, but I'm not going to watch it right now. I'll probably watch it afterwards and I'll report to you guys later. But anyway, this is a case that is definitely involving Jamie Foxx, President Barack Obama, and Leonardo DiCaprio. I get Leonardo DiCaprio and Matt Damon confused. I don't know why. Maybe because they're white. No, but just the way, I don't know, something about them just... And it's not to say that all white people look alike. I'm just saying like something about their energy, just their essence overall just look like they're... Okay. Jamie Foxx, Barack Obama, Leonardo DiCaprio, and the strange conspiracy theory catching fire. Let me try to find that. Jamie Foxx, Barack Obama, and Leonardo... Sorry, you guys. I want to find it right now. And the strange conspiracy that followed. Okay, you know how you type in the headline that you see? Hopefully it could pop up. Okay, I think I found it. Okay, so let's see what this says here. So Jamie Foxx has been hospitalized for about 3 weeks now, but there is no information about his medical complication. The Academy Award winner was rushed to the hospital in Atlanta, where he was filming the action comedy Back in Action. Okay. So has spawned conspiracy theories. Okay. Again, it's about the same case that I was just saying. So Jamie Foxx was reportedly listed as a high-profile witness. There we go. In the trial of Fugees rapper Pras Michel. And you guys know about Pras. It was big news that he was actually a paid FBI informant, and he has been one for many years. He got called to trial for some type of fraud or money laundering, something that, despite his relationship with the FBI, that didn't save him, and he was found guilty, and I think he's awaiting sentence, something like that. So this is involving that case. So this case is particularly about... So Pras, who allegedly conspired to funnel money from a Malaysian government fund to finance Barack Obama's 2012 re-election campaign. Leonardo DiCaprio, Fox's co-star in Django Unchained, has already testified that Michelle's co-conspirator, Loh Taek Jeho, who is a Malaysian businessman accused of stealing billions from state fund, One Malaysia Development Berhad, told him about his intention to donate upward of $20 million to the Democratic Party. So now some theories are out wondering whether Fox was a target of an assassination before he could testify in court. So that is what the conspiracy is on. That the hospitalization, the 3 weeks away, the hush-hush, the silence regarding his recovery and his medical condition and the changing of stories and, oh, he's good now, he was just playing pickleball. It's like, nigga, what? If you were playing pickleball, why didn't you just say anything? Was that all a cover to protect him from testifying in this high profile case, because his testimony would put him in a vulnerable position, and he could have been the target of an assassination. Who knows? I just, child. Who knows? And you would think something that happened in 2012 wouldn't catch up in the 13 years that has, oh my gosh, I said 13 years. Yeah, that's 20. Oh, wow. Where am I doing my? No. We're in 2023. 11, my bad. Not that big of a deal. But yeah, 11 years that it has been. That is crazy. You think that you got away with it, right? You think that you got away with murder. And that is not the case here. So according to Forbes magazine, Michelle, so Praz, is accused of conspiring with J-Ho and faces charges of money laundering. And it seems that, according to the news that we've gotten about this case, Praz seemed to have gotten the brunt of this. He seems to have been the one to just catch all of the height and just the target of it all. You don't hear anything about Leonardo DiCaprio getting anything involved, or even President Obama. Like, it was done for his campaign, so he must have signed off on it, right? He must have just found a way to make it happen, right? So why don't we hear anything about him getting charged? Praz received more than $100 million from J-Ho and participated in 2 illegal schemes. One of them was to enlist attendees for a fundraising dinner for Obama and later reimburse them using $40,000 of the foreign money on the condition they would not tell the authorities. Another scheme was to lobby officials in the Trump administration to drop an investigation into J-Ho. Michelle, however, has pleaded not guilty, and his lawyers told reporters that he was only a passionate Obama supporter who didn't intend to break any laws. Shut the fuck up. Damn. Look at Jamie and his hairline right here. This is a crazy picture. But God bless, child. I mean, at this point, anything goes. Was it really Jamie on that boat? I don't know. But all I know is something fishy is going on. He is probably trying to protect himself from what could be if he were to proceed with the testimony. Maybe he could provide a testimony that is anonymous, right? But if you're subpoenaed, right, if you are put in a position where you have to testify or you'll be imprisoned, then I don't think he could run away from it. Let me not say this. No, I just love, there are just some actors who I just feel like something about them, there's a spirit in them that's just so beautiful, and he's just one of those. So it's just so sad that he has found himself caught up in the situation. Not even just found himself, of course he participated allegedly. This is all, I mean, there's an article that proves that he was a part of it though, so I don't know why I'm saying allegedly. But again, it's just all unfortunate, and I'm sorry to hear that. Let's move forward. Okay, so there is a video of a kid. I shouldn't be laughing. That's not right. Okay. Let's just start. Before we even get into it, though, I want to talk about kids bullying and those who may be on the spectrum. I'm not laughing right now. I'm not laughing, Maxine. Okay. What I'm just saying is, I think there is this there's this expectation for anyone to be super, super friendly and engaging and wanting to be friends with someone who is very much on the spectrum. Very much on the spectrum. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't be friends with people who are differently abled. It just means that I don't get the surprise, right? I don't get the surprise of maybe not wanting to befriend the kid who is heavily on the spectrum. I'm talking about heavily on the spectrum. Growing up, I had a classmate back in, I don't know, throughout my elementary years, who was just so OD. Like, and this was before the language of ADHD, spectrum, autism, Asperger's. Like, none of that was ever introduced to my lexicon at that age, especially since I went to a private school. I think that was also shunned away from private schools, despite still having a few students in the population who may have been on the spectrum. But again, I think with the times that I was in back then, that language wasn't normalized. Like, it wasn't introduced to anyone. Like, I never heard anyone say ADHD. And I noticed some people who just were different, right? Like, oh, she looks a little different. He looks a little off. But that was it. It was never this person clearly has. It was never an autism spot out. It was never anything like that. So anyway, when I was growing up, I just had a few people around me who definitely displayed some high spectrum, albeit autism, Asperger's, one of them. And that person, no, I never bullied anyone. I never, I never bullied anyone. But the point is, like, you don't really feel comfortable around someone if you're not familiar with what they're probably going through, right? So you may display some level of fear or anxiety or uneasiness around someone who is heavily on the spectrum, because it's like, okay, what the fuck is going on? Like, I've never seen this before, right? So you're unsure. You're unsure to be so close with someone. Now, of course, you're respectful. Like, I was always a respectful kid. I'm just saying, like, this surprise that people have when kids who are not on the spectrum are not quick to befriend and be close. And I'm really not even just saying befriend. I'm saying be close with someone who is heavily on the spectrum. I think you're being disingenuous. I think you're being disingenuous. I know we want to be on social media and be this, like, virtuous, super Proverbs 13 type of person. But you're not. You're not. I was just on here several episodes ago, talking about a date that I was on years ago with a guy. Though he was a nice guy, I knew something was up. He was definitely on the spectrum. And to add on to that, him having been in the Army for however long it was, I forget, but it was more than a year, right? Him having a missing tooth somewhere in the back of his mouth. I remember noticing that. Just, there was a lot of signs that made me feel like something's different. It is not a testament to my character, nor is it a flaw of mine, nor should it even be identified as a flaw if I were to not want to pursue anything further. Not even if I didn't, right? So the point is, I think we have to have these honest conversations. So let's get into this topic real quick. So neighbors have helped raise more than $37,000 on GoFundMe for a bullied Texas boy who went viral after a heart-wrenching video showed him knocking on their door and asking if they knew any kids his age because he, I'm sorry, I'm not laughing right now. And asking if they knew any kids his age because he needs some friends really bad. So there's a video shot of him in front of the door of a neighbor in his neighborhood. And just by his positioning, just by his arm wave, his face, you can already tell, oh, this nigga's already on the, like, he's heavily on the spectrum, right? Something's a little off. And he's in front of a stranger's door talking about, do you have kids your age? Because I need a friend really bad. Now, yes, everyone deserves a friend, right? Like, regardless if you're on the spectrum, that's not me saying what I said right before this part does not mean I don't want people on the spectrum to not have friends. That's let me make that very clear. I want everyone to have friends, a friend, a loved one, someone you feel comfortable with, yada, yada, yada. All of that is obvious. What I'm saying right now is it's weird. It's weird for anyone. I don't care you on the spectrum or not. I don't care if you're 11 years old or not. I don't care if you've been bullied or not. Why are you at my door talking about, do you have kids your age, my age? I need a friend really bad. Because first of all, who are you? Even if I did have an 11-year-old, because let's say he looks 11. I'm about to say he looks a little 11. He looks 11 years old. So if I did have an 11-year-old kid, am I to then, oh, yeah, I do. Oh my gosh, let me go ahead and open the door and let you hang out with my 11-year-old because you guys happen to be the same age, therefore you should be friends. No, I need to check you out. What's going on? What's going on? Okay. And then what's weird about this headline is, first of all, how does raising $37,000 or any type of amount of money, how does that help the kid not be bullied anymore? What? I feel like the people who organized the GoFundMe saw this as an opportunity to make some money and used the kid, exploited the kid who happened to be at their doorstep and wanted to present this virtuous appearance, like, oh my gosh, we care about this kid so much, let's raise him money. What is 37? Is this gonna make him not on the spectrum anymore? Is it? And yes, of course, he does not deserve to be bullied. He does not deserve to be hurt by any means. I'm just saying, like, we gotta get to the root. We gotta get to the root. Oh my gosh. Ew, and there's another video. Okay, it's not another video. So, ciao. Girl, bye. Hold on. Dave Portnoy. Okay, anyway, let me focus. Okay, sorry. So, there's a quote in the video in which he says, I love 2-year-olds. End quote. Now, I want you to hear me when I say this. I want you to hear me when I say this, okay? And I hate that I'm about to say it, but it has been a reality, okay? There have been instances in which those who are mentally challenged, because they can't make friends their age, right? And they just have difficulty making friends. They find their way befriending younger people. And in that relationship, they become a predator. Okay? I've seen examples of this, whether in movies, on TV, or in real life. I've seen examples in which you have the mentally challenged person befriending someone who's much younger because they don't have the ability yet, at least, to befriend someone of their age group. So, of course, I'll befriend whoever is available, whoever's vulnerable. And now I have this status of power, right? I'm older, I'm bigger, probably, I'm stronger. And to present this dominance, I've become a predator, a sexual predator, if you know what I mean. So I hate to put this on him. Look, he looks 11 years old the most. I hate to put this on him, but I'm just saying it's unnerving. It's unnerving. And I think the instant response to, I want to help him out, or I want to raise $37,000 for him so he could have friends, is silly. It's silly. It doesn't make any sense. Okay? It doesn't make any sense. I don't feel like it is effective or any of that. You know, so I feel like at the very least he needs to be put down. I'm gonna okay, I need to go to bed. All right. I'm kidding. No, but I think the point is here that we gotta get to the root. And the root is, why don't you have friends? Right? Why don't you have friends? What's going on in your life, in your surroundings, that you are being bullied relentlessly? And if it is due to your mental handicaps, is that being treated? Are you being provided the proper services, right? Are you in an environment that is allowing for the proper services to be had for you to better operate in the society that we're in? Okay, so, and typically if you are in those proper environments, you have the opportunity to have friends who are on your level, therefore eliminating possibilities of bullying in that context, at least. Okay? Child, all I'm saying is I just feel like GoFundMe has been used and abused, and people are seeing this as a way to come up, and they find every opportunity to be disingenuous while presenting this virtuous ass presentation so that they can make some money. And I'm just not buying it. I'm not saying he's not being bullied. I think it's true. I mean, I could, just look at him. But my point is, it's just weird. It's just weird. I wouldn't want my kid around anyone who is mentally handicapped. I'm sorry, but you have to say things. Look, because what I said before, I'm telling you, what I said before is true. There are instances in which the ones who are mentally handicapped, they typically befriend those who are younger. And now they have established this sense of dominance and power because they're bigger, they're stronger, they're older. And with that status, sometimes they tend to abuse. They tend to prey and just, harm those, unfortunately, who are most vulnerable. So, anyway, child, God bless. Let's talk about Jonah Hill. Okay. Let's talk about Jonah Hill. Okay, so Okay, so Jonah Hill is an actor who has been looking a little different lately. I'm not really liking his look. I'm really not. And look, I get it. There are people in the limelight who we've just become so used to them looking a certain way, right? So when someone who is of bigger weight is now of lesser weight, it's a hard pill to swallow. And it's like, shit, we shouldn't be like that. Like, I shouldn't be like that, right? I should embrace the fact that you are taking your health seriously and you're taking care of yourself, and that's great. It's not even just that with him. I think overall, his look is just a little, I don't know, it's like he's trying to find himself. Like, even this picture right now that I'm looking at, his hair is grown out, is curly, and it's a beachy blonde. You could tell he dyed it. And his beard is of a different color, and it's just, I don't know. It's just like he's just a little, it's just weird. It's just weird. And I feel like, is he trying to be a rapper? You know, is he giving Logic? You know, I feel like he's trying to look like Logic. I don't know, child. He is a little different. Anyway, so he is an actor. He is known for several of his roles, several of his famous roles, such as 21 Jump Street. I don't think I've seen that, actually. What else? I'm not really much of a follower of his, but I know he's a big-time actor. What else? So 21 Jump Street, yes. The Wolf of Wall Street, yes. I remember I watched that movie years ago. I want to watch it again. I think I'll watch it again sometime this week. The Wolf of Wall Street, Moneyball, 22 Jump Street. Yeah, so he is pretty well known and has been on the screen for a while. His ex-girlfriend from a year ago, they dated, 2 years ago now. They dated in 2021, and they dated for a couple of months, actually. She decided to come forward and say that he is a misogynistic narcissist. And at this point, is everybody a misogynist? Is every man specifically a misogynist? Is every man a narcissist? I feel like this word, both words, misogynist and narcissist, have been overused and abused, and I'm sick of it. I even think back to my use of the word narcissist for Boston Bay. Maybe I was doing too much then. Also, like, even like me just retrospectively using that term, maybe I was just in my feelings and I wanted to just find a good trendy word. It wasn't even trendy then, but I just wanted to find a good scientific word to really declare his character. And it's like, really, at the very least, though, I'm not a doctor, right? I'm not someone who is qualified to give you this diagnosis. And I think because of social media, it has made us believe that we are so qualified to do anything that we don't need this degree. We don't need these letters behind or next to or before our name. We just seen a TikTok about it and we know. Narcissist, abuser. And it's like, we have to be very careful with these terms. These terms are dangerous. They malign the character of someone. And it's not, like, if you want to be statistically accurate, not every man you've dated is a narcissist. You know what I'm saying? Like, not everyone is an abuser, bipolar. Like, it's been so commonly used online that you would think everyone grew up with some mentally challenged parent. And it's like, maybe your parent just had a bad day, or they were struggling with poverty at the time and didn't know how to manage their emotions. Like, it does not mean it has to be an immediate schizophrenic diagnosis. Okay, so anyway, so Jonah Hill's former girlfriend, who is also a professional surfer, her name is Sarah Brady, she came forward and said, quote, he was emotionally abusive during their time together. Okay. The pair began dating publicly in 2021, where they made their relationship public when they went on the red carpet together as the Don't Look Up premiere came about. So that was their debut. However, it's unclear when their relationship came to an end. Anyway, so posting our Instagram story, she said that, so she posted screenshots from text message exchanges that she alleges to be between herself and Jonah Hill. So it says in the messages from him that, so she says here that this is a warning to all girls. If your partner is talking to you like this, make an exit plan. Call me if you need an ear. And in these messages, Jonah Hill is saying that he's basically stating his boundaries. He's saying a couple of things. He's listing a couple of things that he does not want his girlfriend to do. Now, the list is long, right? The list is long. I will give it to her on that. And it may feel controlling just by the length of it. And for me, though, I'm the type of texter, say it all in one text or one or two texts. Don't just like give me a couple of words in one bubble and then the next bubble is the next couple of words, and like you're breaking up every sentence into their own bubble. That is so annoying to me. Like, are you okay? Can you get your thoughts in order before you text me? I hate that. So anyway, so he says here that it's not my place to teach you. I've made my boundaries clear. You refuse to let go some of them, and you've made that clear, and I hope it makes you happy. I want to find the exact image because there was a screenshot that I saw in something else. Okay, another screenshot from the alleged text message appeared to show Hill insisting that if Brady wants to surf with men, to model and post pictures of herself in a bathing suit, among other things, then he's not the right partner for her. He then says, okay, hold on. So she's trying to say that though now the image that Jonah Hill is presenting, especially on there's a Netflix show that he has of him sharing his therapy sessions on Netflix with his therapist and talking about just like his journey with mental health. And so she's saying how like basically, yeah, he's been very honest about his mental health, but that does not mean that you get to control other people while you get some strategies to navigate your own mental health. She says here, quote, I too struggle with mental health, but I do not use it to control people like he did to me. Let me see if I can find the text, child. Jonah Hill text, because the text specifically, I want to find that. Okay, let's see. I found it. There, look at that. Okay, let's see. These things, I don't know why they don't. Okay. Okay, so he's saying I'm just over explaining myself. It's just constant and doesn't reflect where we are at and where you say you want to be. I respect your skill and your surfing. I respect how you want to present yourself. It's just constant. Okay. I respect that you're hot. Okay, I respect that you're hot and beautiful. And mind you, he's texting in bubbles, like a phrase and another phrase and another phrase. Like, it's just like, you might as well just give me a phone call, nigga. Like, you might as well wait till we see each other in person. Like, get it together. I hate people that text like that. Like, I have a relative, let's just say that. Let me not be too specific, I have a relative who texts just like this. I'm just like, my anxiety is through the roof. And we were arguing at that time too. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? I was so annoyed because her point wasn't being done. Her point wasn't made clearly, which is why she was texting like that. And I'm trying to respond to this one phrase that she said earlier, and then she's still finishing up her point. Like her sentence wasn't done yet. And it's like, why didn't you just wait till you finish your sentence before you send it? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so she says here, well, I'm trying to find specifically what he's saying. This is annoying, dog. Okay, from the videos that I watched, all these stupid ass pop-ups. There we go. Okay, I think I found it now. I'm sorry, you guys. Hopefully there's no pop-up with this one. Okay. Well, you should have had the picture up earlier, Maxine. Is that what you're saying, you guys? Maxine, you should have had okay, there we go. Okay, so he says here, okay. This text message is all in one. So I do appreciate the clarity, okay? Plain and simple. This is, okay, so quote, plain and simple. If you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post, and he's bulleting these points, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places, and from your wild recent past, beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful, I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust. So she posted this screenshot of their text exchange, of him texting her this, and she's saying how he misused the term boundaries. And I think that's pretty fucked up for her to say that. And here's why. People who don't like boundaries will say that. People who don't like you telling them how you should treat them will be upset with your use or your definition of boundaries, when it's like, no, it's not being misused. I'm not weaponizing the word boundaries here. No, I'm respectfully letting you know this is how I would like, not even would like, this is how I am requiring to be treated in this relationship. If you could do that, that would be great. If you can't, then we will have to reevaluate and move forward and move apart from each other. But her trying to diminish his right to create boundaries in a romantic setting is unfair, is unjustified, and I think it's pretty pathetic. Like, first of all, just because you don't see a problem with your behavior does not mean that he is misusing the term boundaries, or does not mean that he is an emotional, abusive person. Now, here's the thing with that. When you are a professional surfer, of course you are wearing, not even of course, immediately I thought she is of course going to be wearing a bathing suit, but there are more, and I'm not trying to be a nun here, I'm just saying, like, there are other clothes that you could wear that may not look as if you're being too flaunty, for lack of a better word, with your body. And if he feels like, I don't know, I just feel like you have to consider the person that you're dating. You just have to be considered. That's all I'm saying. Like, if I am making it clear to you, I'm uncomfortable with X, Y, and Z, and your quick response, and not even just your quick response, but your consistent response. Like, days have gone by and you still have yet to consider how I feel about such and such. And you still have yet to reevaluate what can be done to make both parties comfortable. then I find that to be a problem. I really do. I think there's a way to consider your partner, consider your spouse, consider your significant other, and still kind of remain your identity in a way. Like, I feel like my identity shouldn't be in conflict with yours. And if it is, then I think what he's saying right here, I am not the right partner for you, I think that is completely valid. And if she was not in favor of all that he is needing in this relationship, okay, you know what? I had fun. Let's go our separate ways. But if she is recognizing, okay, I understand how he feels, like, I think what he's saying is pretty fair for the most part. Like, there are, I mean, for the surfing with men thing, like, if she's a surf teacher, a surf instructor, I don't think she could dictate only women she could surf with. Like, I think that's a little excessive. I think he has to do some inner work with that. But I feel like for the most part, maybe she could wear something that's not as flaunty. That's not a word, but you know what I mean. Maybe she could do something in a way that is making him feel a little bit more comfortable. And I think we also have to stop weaponizing the word insecure. I remember when I still kind of, not still, but I think I've grown more in my insecurity department. But I remember being very insecure in undergrad. And I used to say comments like, oh, is she prettier than me? Like, I would talk to my college best friend at the time and would kind of share these thoughts that I had, and thinking that these thoughts were normal. And I'm sure it's normal as far as a lot of people may experience the same thoughts and feelings or whatever, but I remember just kind of venting and just like sharing these thoughts and feelings, and I never heard anyone say out loud to me, no, I think it's insecure. Like, she didn't validate what I felt, right? She didn't make me feel like I was right in feeling how I felt. Instead, she pointed out, no, that's insecurity. Like, you shouldn't have to be, like, you shouldn't size yourself up amongst other women or amongst other people in general. Like, you should just be solid in who you are. And that was a hard pill to swallow, because I took it as a slight. I felt like I actually wanted to go the other way with this point. I felt like I wanted to say that she was weaponizing insecurity, but the only reason I wanted to say that was, at the time, I wasn't ready to receive that critique. And instead of me embracing her advice, internally, I was being defensive. Like, I was already building a wall of like, bitch, don't talk to me. I'm not insecure. I'm confident. And I think what is the expectation, like, as a young woman, is to always present this like, oh, I'm good, I know I got it, yada, 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 and to never show any insecurity. So for her to spot out my insecurity, I took it as a slight. I took it as she's trying to one up me. She's trying to attack me. I took it very defensively. But now, growing more and just being where I am right now, mentally, emotionally, I realized that I just wasn't ready to hear that. And I think sometimes people do use insecurity as a way to weaponize people, or just like make you feel like you're stupid or you're less than. So like with the whole Keke Palmer situation and her boyfriend, I don't know if they're still together. I don't know what happened. I hope they're still together, but you know, I hope she didn't let the feminist Twitter space get to her. But it seems like, I don't know, at this point, was it all a ploy? I know she just started like a podcast on AMP. So maybe this was all a setup for her to get more exposure on the podcast. Whatever. Let's say if it's not, though. A lot of people were just showing a lot of backlash against him, and making it out that he was insecure, and your insecurity showing, your insecurity. And it's like, let's say if he was insecure, right? Let's say if he was just sizing himself up against other men, and Usher in this case was that other man. Why are you making him feel bad about that? Like, why are you like making it like you're shaming him for it? Like, when someone is insecure, shaming that person is not helpful. You know, that makes me feel even more insecure. Like, I'm insecure that I'm insecure, right? I'm feeling even more uncomfortable that I've shared that out loud, that I have these feelings and thoughts. Like, don't egg it on. So again, with her saying, well, just in general, like this whole like, oh, men are insecure for setting boundaries with their lady, you know, or like vocalizing to their woman, hey, I would rather you not do X, Y, and Z. Why can't we just respect that? Or like we can have a conversation and figure out a solution that works best for both of us, right? But to immediately dismiss that person, man or woman, and say, oh, you're just being insecure, I think that's so rude. I think it's so disrespectful, and it's just not right. It's just not right. So shit, you know, they didn't work out, obviously. They broke up shortly thereafter. He is now with someone else. He has a new baby, and she just posted this recently. So it's been a track record of hers to, every time he is publicly moving forward with his life and new relationships, she posts another thing about another message, another information, another piece of information about her relationship with him and who he was to her in her perception when they were together. And I just feel like at this point she's harassing him. I feel like at this point she feels foolish to not have tried and humble herself when she was in a relationship with him. So I really think she just kind of like feels silly. But child, at this point, dare I say it, men are under attack. Dare I say it? All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to have left a review at any of the platforms that you are listening to this episode on, whether that's YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc. Be sure to tell a friend and tell a friend, and make sure you are subscribed on all of the platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and I will check in with you all next time. Peace. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of God Built This Podcast with your host, Maxine. If you liked it, leave a review, share, and subscribe. God bless.